Okay, now let's talk about how to constitute the content of our expression. So think about this. If there's a puzzle piece, there's a lot of puzzle pieces, piled up right in front of you. I believe that is very hard for you to fetch the one you want, right? Because they haven't sorted out. So we need to classify them into some kind of uh, groups, or we need to classify them out of some kind of maybe rules, maybe size, maybe colors, because when we do this, it's easier for us to find the one we want. So that is the same reason for information classification, because if there's a whole chunks of information, it's really hard to get through to other people because they're just too large and they haven't sorted out. A human's brain can absorb this kind of information, this kind of form of information. So we need to add into some kind of classification to classify them into different points. And we talk about each of them once at a time. So once we do that, we can get our ideas through to other people and make people understand what we're talking about within a limited time. So there are three very important methods I want you to keep in mind. So the first one is called remember the number three. Number three is a magic number. So I highly recommend you to classify your content into 3 points. And I think three is the perfect number because more than three is seems too much, but less than three seems too less. Three is just right. And it's the reason for this is about neuroscience. People's humans brain just get used to the number three. That makes us feel harmony. So take for example, uh, the slogan for French Revolution is called liberty, equality, and fraternity. And President Lincoln once said, the government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth. So the above two examples shows that these slogans or these content, once they were sorted out into 3 points, it sounds catchy and easier for people to understand. And the second is called MISI. MISI is a principle invented by a very renowned company, McKinsey. McKinsey invented MISI principle for writing, thinking, and problem solving. And MISI represent mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. Mutual exclusive means that every point every point we create should not go against each other. So for example, if you want to classify your clothes in a drawer into two groups, the first group is called the first group is for clothes for working. The second group is for long sleeve clothes. So how do you think about this? I think it's apparently not right because I can guarantee you have the clothes that is or that are for work and they're also long sleeve. So if you have this kind of clothes, there's no way, and there's no way for these kind of clothes to go, because they go against you. You can't classify them into the first group, but you can classify them into the second group. So that go against each other. And collectively exhaustive means that every points when we add them up, they should be a whole. For example, if we want to classify our clients into two parts, the first part is clients between age 10 to 50. The other part is clients older than age 50. That is not right because we miss the clients whose age are younger than 10. So that is so-called Misi principle. And the third method is big picture and localization. Big picture and localization means that we need to give listeners a big picture before getting to the details, and we need to remind them to relocalize them whenever our conversation going. So you can use the sentence like, hey, in this sharing I'm going to talk about point A, point B, and point C. A is blah blah blah. So by using this technique, it's like providing a map before get into a maze, so they can know the big picture of this conversation is like, and that helps them to fully understand your point and fully understand what you're trying to say. And localization means that sometimes when we elaborate on one point for too long time, people forget where they are. So we need to remind them, we need to get them back on track. And we can use the sentence like, hey, I've already finished point A and point B. Now I'm going to talk about point C. So this is big picture and localization. So overall, if you get familiar with these three methods, I believe that will make your content more clear and more apparent, and people can understand what you're talking about because they have sorted out already. But I also know sometimes it's not that easy to get into the logic and to find the thread of your information. So I will also provide you some very useful and practical template that you can tap into. So you can do some like permutations about these templates, and I believe that will help. And I'll leave this PowerPoint in the description below. Feel free to download it, and I'll catch you in the next video.